Welcome to the Landscape Photography Vlogcast, hosted by myself, Tom Peters, aka the Photo Ninja, all the way up north, Paul Thompson Photography, and Struth mate, it's Matt Bishop. We cover all things photography and chat to some of the best photography minds in the business. Put your feet up, the kettle on, and let's jump straight into this week's Vlogcast. Right, welcome back to Landscape Photography Vlogcast. How's it been, chaps? Been a while?
Certainly has. It's been, what, a couple of months?
Yeah, at least.
It's Paul's fault.
Nah, it's nothing to do with me. Tim down below there, look at him.
Yeah. I know on your own, mate.
I'll take fault for it. It was all my fault, guys. I've been a little bit too busy lately with work and haven't had the opportunity to even dedicate a few hours at night time. So I apologise to those 17 people that listen to us.
Come on, there's at least 18. At least round the numbers up.
Yeah, we hate odd numbers.
My mum.
Yeah, for sure. So what you been up to then?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Not much. I've basically, what's it been since late May? I haven't done anything photographic related at all. I've been absolutely crazy at work. People that know me, I work in an operating theatre in the Vatican in Rome. And just with the COVID situation, we've been so under the pump that basically all that extra, that 40 or 50 hours I had per month to dedicate to photography, whether it was going out and shooting or editing videos or editing images or organising workshops or anything product related or anything that we do with photography, I've had to completely put to the side. So I've actually done nothing for the last 3 months. Extremely sad.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing. I think it's good to have a break every now and then because when you get back into it, you've just got this thirst to get stuck back into it again. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to see things with a different perspective when it all happens again. The only thing I've just been trying to do is just, obviously when you're on the toilet in the morning, you get Instagram out or whatever it is, and you check up and see what everyone's doing,
Yeah.
And
trust an Aussie to bring toilet talk in 3 minutes into the podcast.
Well, you don't get newspapers anymore. It used to be the newspaper, didn't it? So that's the phone and Instagram because that's what you do. So I've been trying to keep up to date with everyone else is doing, but it's hard. It's hard to find inspiration at the moment because, not being out on field, you don't have that thirst and it just everything feels just very, very flat at the moment. And but, as I said, everyone goes through that. Everyone goes through that stage. I think when people first start getting into photography in the beginning, you're on this extreme high where it's just you live every single second for it and that's all you want to do. Yeah. And once you've passed that and you move more into that critical phase where you start, criticising your work and you're trying to refine who you are as a photographer and all that, it starts to slow down a little bit and you try and find, your time and, the way you want to approach everything. And then from there, it goes through these waves of ups and downs. And unfortunately, a lot of people during this pandemic are having these ups and downs, more downs than uppers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You've had house renovations as well, haven't you?
I had house renovations too, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that when you got 2 little kids in the house. It's not nice.
I wouldn't advise it.
I mean, why do it? It's just not worth it. I'd just rather leave the house in a mess.
It'd be trashed again with 5 minutes anyhow with 2 kids.
Well, yeah, it is. There's marks over the walls everywhere already.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Well, I've been this week I've been isolating because we went out for the first time in 2 years last Sunday to an outdoor event. And the kid I was sat with next to all night tested positive last Sunday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I've been at home all week, which has actually been quite nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully my boss don't listen to this podcast. But yeah, it's been quite nice. You know, and it's been scorching as well here in the UK. It's been like near on 30 degrees every day, which is hot for us. So yeah, we've had, because we live with a mother-in-law, because we're in between houses as well. She bought like a dirty great swimming pool, like paddling pool.
Yep.
It's like 3.5 meters circle.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Same one as we got by the sound of it.
Yeah. Oh,
did you have to blow it up?
No, it's one of those metal frame ones, you know, with a.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so you have to sit and wait for it to fill up. Mine just takes like 3 days. But luckily, that was done a few weeks ago. But Willow has enjoyed dunking me in the water, sitting on my head. Yeah, the usual stuff.
Games,
other than that, I've been out maybe once or twice before that. So I haven't been out with a camera for probably 3 weeks, I would say. But luckily for me, I had about 5 or 6 vlogs and images all sort of on the hard drive. So I've just been eating into them, which all my
late nights.
Yeah, so when they go to bed, I find it's best for me editing when I'm. Because if you ever try, you must have tried editing a video or something when you're in the garden. You think, oh, that's nice. I sat in the garden.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't happen.
And Willow's like, Daddy, what's this? Can you do this? And then you go do that. And then she's tripped over and then
smashed her head.
Yeah. The laptop's fried and this is pointless.
It's just a waste of
I
time.
find the best time to do it is when everyone goes to bed. And you know, if you've got a day off the day later, you say, look, I'm just going to start till 3 a.m. and just go crazy.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and get it nailed.
That's what I tend to do, yeah. And one of my biggest passions, for people probably don't know, is fitness for me. So I've been delving into that a little bit. And if I'm honest, I think that's taken over a little bit. I'm a bit obsessive.
Okay.
So and a friend of mine, I'm going off topic a little bit, but my friend of mine is like, trains people for shows, like bodybuilding shows.
Okay.
For a living. And he's been on to me because I've been going to the gym and doing fitness things ever since I packed swimming in. And so every year he's like, oh, can I train you? Can we do this? Do you want to do a show? Do you want to do a photo shoot? Blah, blah, blah. So I thought about 6 months ago, I thought, I'll get him to do me a plan and whatever. So I've been sort of balls deep into that, if I'm honest. Yeah, I've lost like, not that I was fat, but like I've lost probably 3 inches off around my waist and everywhere. I'm as lean as I've been for a while, actually, which is quite nice.
It's addictive, doesn't it? Once you start getting into it.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I've got another friend who works in nutrition as well. And he's been feeding me like supplements and which work, you know. And the thing is, people always say to me like, "Oh, do they things really work?" And I was like, "Well, I've tried them and they don't work." And I was like, "Well, they do, but you got to do fitness, nutrition, and sleep. So them 3 things have all got to come together. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it don't work. And most diets don't work, do they? Because they're too extreme. But yeah, so I've been doing that, making concrete dumbbells this week. That's the highlight of my week.
You've been making concrete dumbbells.
Yeah, do you know how dear dumbbells are?
I saw you put something up on Facebook or something, and I'm going, gee, that's nice. He's obviously lost content. He hasn't got any more photos to put out there because he's taking photos of dumbbells.
Yeah, he's not lost content. He's lost the plot. Full stop.
I have. Yeah, I know.
It's the heat, mate. It's not used to 30-degree weather. That's what it is.
It is. It's the heat, yeah. I thought, well, because of the lockdowns and stuff, she couldn't go to the gym.
So I thought, and obviously I'm a bricklayer, I work in construction, so I can get concrete or get stuff to make concrete. So I thought, I'll make some, because like a 20 kilogram dumbbell is like 130 quid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I can make it for about 3 quid. So,
that's all right.
Yeah, so I've done some Fred Flintstoning on them, and yeah. So that's pretty much what I've been up to anyway.
Awesome.
Oh, get your legs trained up, mate, for when you come over here. Do some mountain climbing.
That's it. My legs need catching up. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Paul, mate? You've had a complete
it's been
in your life.
It's been a bit interesting, mate, lately, to be honest. So anybody who knows me will know that I was doing courier work as well as the photography. And the van went bang. The first time cost about 2,000 quid to get sorted. Got it back on the road, and then it went again. And this time it was like had blue tank and all of that. And it was off the road for 4 weeks. And work started to stop taking my phone calls and all the rest of it. So I'm thinking, that's not good. And then when I found out how much I'd actually spent on the van over the last year or so, which was about 8,500 quid, I thought, you know what, this isn't worth it anymore. No. And on top of that, it was getting so manic, 2-hour time slots, trying to hit these 2-hour time slots all day. The job was getting dangerous. You were leaving home in the morning, not actually knowing whether you were going to get home at night because you were flying that hard just to get. And it was all for parcels, for Christ's sake. It's not life or death stuff. It's like somebody's parcel. And I thought, life's too short for this, So I jacked. I basically packed it in with nothing really to go to. But I thought, well, I've bought a camper van, so I'll start hiring that out. That'll get money coming in, and then I'll just go and job around. And then in the meantime, I had a meeting the other day which might enable me to start more down a full-time route with photography. And it's basically producing content for an American company, an American photography company. So they want me to make videos for them. So with any luck, that'll be the sort of basis, the foundation for me able to go full time with any luck.
Or a stepping stone, for sure.
Yeah. Well, at least if it's bringing like constant money in, and I know I can make money via doing it, it's good grounding, isn't it? So.
Yeah, but you know what, mate? If you don't have that job anymore, you've got more time to dedicate to photography. And if you've got more time to dedicate to photography, the work is going to come up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been surprised because even just jobbing around, just doing odd jobs, not even related to photography, they've been coming in. I've been getting bits and pieces coming in. So I've gone 2 weeks now with having packed in work, and I've had bits of work here and there. So, it's all good really. I just got it. It's hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's hard work because I've replaced one stress with another one. So I've replaced the stress of racing around like an idiot every day with the stress of, right, where's the next paycheck coming from? But hey, the end of the day, the way I'm looking at it is the stress within myself isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not physically stressed out all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's better for everyone. It's better for my family. It's better for me. So
for sure.
So yeah, and I can focus now. And I've been putting my time into trying to get things like workshops up and running. I'm trying to make a plan for getting those done. So yeah, that's where I've been up to.
Exciting stuff. And it's not just about workshops, like you said. It's about putting together and collaborating with other people to put out content.
Do you know that's the biggest? That's the biggest thing you've just said. I think is the biggest thing you can do is collaborate with people. Definitely. And it goes for everything. It goes for workshops. It goes for all photography. Is if you try and go it alone, I think that's when you're going to run into trouble. Whereas if you make yourself a broader part of a community, I think it'll come together a lot better.
100%. If you got to make friends, not enemies. I think
definitely.
The more people like-minded and supportive people you put around yourself, the better. I can't see a bad side to it, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And putting a bit more effort into, to web-based material rather than social media material too, I think is quite important. I mean, you got to remember, it's great to have an Instagram account with all these followers, and it might be easy for you to go a workshop because more people are following you. But we have to understand that Google AdSense is very, very powerful today. It's a very powerful engine that monetization from Google AdSense is not just as powerful as we see in YouTube alone, with some people that have got lots of followers on YouTube and bring out content and make a living off YouTube. People like Thomas Heaton or anyway, it's off the top of my head, someone like Thomas Heaton. Yeah. You can get Google AdSense just off your website. So if you get enough traffic coming into your websites with decent material that people are interested in, there is content there that you can make a living off when you combine all those things together.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And you've got the time for it now. You don't have your day job and you have to stay up late and try and put something together for photography, and it's great. And you're doing something you're enjoying too. Like, did you enjoy?
No, I hated every minute of it. I hated every minute of it. It was a means to an end. I did it. I did it when my business folded because I had a music shop. I ran my own music shop before I did the courier work. And when that went pop because of the recession, I thought, well, this will tide me over for a year. Yeah, well, 10 years later, I was still there. So, I mean, a lot of people said to me at the time, do you know what, if you're gonna leave now, because if you don't leave, you never will. You'll just stick with what's easy. So it's all good.
I think sometimes you just got to take a bit of a jump, and which is easy to say, and it's easier to say that, but
it's a bit of a leap of faith. But
yeah.
Makes it harder if you've got kids, for sure. I mean, if I was just single, or if you were in a couple or something, it wouldn't be so bad. But when you've got kids,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I say that to Barbara, my wife, all the time. I've probably said it to the last 3 or 4 years. If we didn't have children, I would have left my job and I would have tried to dedicate it to photography years ago. But having the security of having a full-time job for me with my kids, it's hard to sort of make that step, think, okay, do you just maintain the photography as a passion and a part-time sort of profession and still enjoy it, or do you just kick it all in and just risk it? But mate, I think probably what's happened with you has been a godsend, hasn't it?
Well, I think so. It's just it's getting it all to work together now. I think that's the biggest issue I'm going to have. But it's just trial and error, I think, until I can make it work.
Sure. Did you ever contemplate it, Tom? I mean, I know you like your job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have loads of times. Same thing. I'm a bit same sort of situation as you. Obviously, my job's not same thing as what you do, but it's good money, and I enjoy working outside, and I enjoy the banter with the lads at work. It's like a real lad environment. And the money's good, so it's hard to sort of turn away from that. But I've definitely got enough work with photography, with YouTube, and there's loads of things that I haven't been able to do or say yes to because I think, oh, I've got to organise it around a weekend, and what if they want me to work a Saturday, or that I've had to sort of hold back off. And a few times I've sort of gone like that, and then thought, oh no, because we've got Willow, we've just bought a new house, which is it's not stretching us, but it's, we've gone a step up. Like it feels like a grown up house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we probably want to have another baby. So there's always something else in there.
I think there always will be, though. I think the more you look at it, there's always going to be something to pull you back.
I think like me and Paul were doing a workshop later on in the year. I've done probably 5 or 6 one-to-ones this year, and I cancelled probably at least 5 because due to COVID or rescheduling or whatever. So if they would have kicked off, I would have easily earned enough money to take 1 or 2 days off work, which then you would think right, what, 2 days dedicate, I can do a video, can up the standard of quality of my video for YouTube and stuff. And then you would think that maybe that might, but again, it's saying to my boss, look, I'm not really committed to you lot. This is what I want to do, and hoping he's okay with it. I don't know.
It's a difficult one. It's never easy, I don't think.
No.
It was kind of, the decision was made for me. Like, it wasn't really a kind of, I mean, I'd thought about it. I'd thought about doing it. But as you say, it always pulled me back, having that security of work. Yeah. But because the decision was almost made for me, then, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
mate, you've got the free time. Just keep at it, and things will work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they will. They will work, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Just keep at it, eh?
We all know what it's like to have a family and try and do stuff late at night and get up on the weekend when you're buggered after, a whole week at work, and try and do something. I mean, it's not like about doing something because you have to get content out there, because you go out and do it because you enjoy it. I mean, that's the reason we do it in the first place. But just trying to push yourself to do something because you've only got that one day off in a fortnight or whatever it is. To not have that, and to have that free time to just think, without being in a hurry, and open your creative mind up a bit more, and discover what you can, your full potential. That's what it is your full potential, because you don't have the time normally to dedicate your full potential to it. And mate, I think it's a great thing. I think things will go well for you, mate. You're just gonna keep at it.
Yeah, fingers crossed, eh?
Definitely.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually. I never really thought of it like that. We are not reaching our full potential, are we?
No.
Well, you're not.
I never really
held
thought
back.
Well, yeah, I never really thought of it like that, actually. That's not bad. That's I might lead with that on Monday morning when I go to the office. So look, Matt says I'm not
leading with
full potential.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll give him your number, and
some of the best work I've ever done is when I've taken leave from work, and I've had a couple of months off, and I've just been able to dedicate all my time to it.
Yeah,
and on field, because on field is the most important part. Let's face it, getting out on field and not having to hurry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go today because the weather's shitty. You know what? I've got tomorrow off as well, so I'm going to go tomorrow because there's going to be fog tomorrow. Just little things like that. When you don't have the time, you just can't ever reach that level. I remember listening to, I think it was a podcast, probably maybe 3 years ago now. Trying to think of that bloke's name. God, I'm sorry. He's going to be offended when I eventually get around to his name now. Alex Noriega.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Noriega.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was getting interviewed. I don't know who it was by, where it was, or where I heard it. But he basically said to him, how did you get so good so quickly? And his answer was, because I got that obsessed by photography. I didn't have anything to tie me down. My job was in IT or whatever it was, so he's very flexible with his hours. Didn't have a family, just had no distractions around him at all. And he just completely absorbed himself 100%, 24/7 into photography for a year. And in 1 year, the guy just went mad.
Yeah.
And he probably reached his full potential, I kind of like the idea that I can't reach my potential, because then I'll never find out really how crap I am. It's better to say, well, look, I don't have much time, so that's as good as I can do it. And I go, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but I think you're holding yourself back with that attitude, Matt.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm quite glad. I'm quite glad that you do feel held back, because you show us up anyway the little time you do have. So
yeah, no. So you just stay where you are.
Yeah. I just keep pushing him down.
I'll piss off now. See you later, guys.
Push that thumb down, yeah.
Oh, it's good to see what we've been up to. It's great to chat, isn't it, guys? It's been that long. Like we said, it's been a few months. We've just had very crazy lives, mainly my fault. I haven't had the chance to do a podcast, so apologies to everyone that haven't got back together. And Tom, we were talking about the subject we were going to bring up.
Tripods and three-legged things.
Them three-legged things.
Yeah. I see what you did there. See what you did.
Yeah. Wow. You want to know what I use, Andy?
So as this podcast, as the three of us I sort of like invaded, your space, guys, and hopped in. And since then, we've just put up a Facebook group, which I think is a good idea for communication and feedback and all that sort of stuff, as well as having the podcast and making announcements and things. And so we just started up this Facebook group with no dedication to it, really. And quite surprisingly, we've got, I think it's over 500 members. That was just took off really, really quickly. And a lot of people seem to be quite active with the group too. When we put stuff out there. And I think we put a post up. If I look on my other screen now, it was on the 11th of May. Okay, so we probably just started doing a few podcasts then, and basically just asked the question on the group, what tripods are you using? Finding the right tripod for photography is an important investment and a good discussion for us to bring up in a future podcast. Would be great to hear what you are using as a reference point. And the feedback we had on that question was massive. So we had 497 people out of the 500 odd people give feedback to that.
Crazy.
To that. So just as saying before, wouldn't it actually be good to finally actually talk about that? Because I think there's a lot of interest. People love gear. It's great to talk about other photographers. It's great to talk about editing and where we're going to photograph and all that sort of stuff. But let's face it, we're photographers and we love our gear. We're gearheads. And that's part of one of the exciting parts of photography too, isn't it? So let's get into talking about tripods, huh?
Yeah.
So just had top. So basically, okay, you've got to consider that the majority of the photographers that are in this group so far, where would the majority of them be based? A sort of a mixture between US, UK.
I would say US and UK. I'm looking at this, Yeah. There's some big names on here as well. I mean, it's nice to see a varied I don't know what the right word is, but look at professionals to amateurs to
varied skill levels.
Which gives like a real broad opinion on what they value as a good tripod. Because for instance, well, like say like what Alex Noriega sees in a tripod is probably not the same as what I do, or the other way around. So
definitely,
there's definitely
or a beginner photographer, for example, who's just started.
Yeah.
And we do have beginner photographers on this group too. So
100%, yeah. So I was just blown away by the amount of interest that we got. And
it just goes to show you that people love gear, doesn't it? And they want to know what other people are using.
This is the thing I always find with gear related content is people, I don't know where the taboo is, but people always think, oh, another gear video, but them videos do better than anything on any social platform.
Oh, they do.
So why? I find it puzzling why people are sort of shy away from it and pretend they're not interested, because they clearly are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So. All right. So, probably 6 years ago, when I started getting into when I started getting into photography properly. I quickly realized that if I'm going to take sharp images, I need a tripod. Well, not every time, but most of the time. So I had a quick scan around the internet, and I found in the UK there's a company called Wex.
Yeah.
And there was another company called, I think you pronounce it Calumet. You might know Paul.
Calumet.
Yeah.
So
Calumet.
Yes, like black and red, and they went squat, I think, or they went squat, or Wex bought them out anyway. And I bought an old Calumet carbon fiber, all singing, all dancing tripod apparently, and it's just like a generic Chinese thing, and that did me for loads of times. 2 years maybe. The last sort of 6 months of that was painful. You know, like when you start to sort of get into it and you think, I can't go there because it's too windy, or I can't get up here, I can't get high enough, so I can't shoot on. So it was starting to hold me up, as I felt like I'd outgrown it. So then what did I do then? I started looking into more local companies, or something that was made in the UK, or at least assembled in the UK anyway. And I'm not blingy, but I like shiny things.
You're part magpie, mate, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, like when you was a kid and the sweets all like fancy colours, and I'm like, I want one of them. I don't know what it is, but I want one. And three-legged things sort of they made a tripod that wasn't black.
They're very flashy, aren't they?
Yeah, like the grips weren't black. The top mount wasn't just a black anodized aluminum or aluminium. It just looked different, which intrigued me. So then I went and bought Winston, which is like a pretty solid tripod. It's sort of I don't know what the actual measurements is. It must be it comes up to sort of chest height, and then with your ball head. And I haven't really looked back. I've used three-legged thing now for probably 5 years.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
you've not had a tripod that long.
Yeah, I did buy a little Benro Slim for my vlogging, because I quickly, once I got into YouTube, I realised I needed 2 tripods.
You needed a little lightweight tripod that didn't need the stability, really, just needed to hold your vlogging camera.
That's it, yeah. So what I did was I think I bought a Winston, and then I used the little Chinese Calumet to stick my GoPro on. And the amount of times you would walk past the camera, you turn around and you're like, where is it? Oh, it's led on the ground. Yeah. And I thought, this isn't no good. So I bought a little Benro, and I used that for a couple of years. And I've been lucky enough to, I haven't got partnership with Three-Legged Thing, but the woman, Megan, who does the marketing, she's very it's the conversation. It's conversations that she knows who I am, and we put up a little bit of a relationship. And if something new comes out, I either send them a message or they've got in contact with me before, and they send me stuff on loan, which has helped prolong the me. Not that I was going to go anywhere, but when someone says, "Do you want to try this?" or I say, "Can I try that?" and they say yes. So yeah, now I've got a Nicky, which is humongous. It goes way above my head, and there's no center column. It's got a 75mm bowl, which I never use a center column. I don't know about you two.
No,
very rarely. And I think that's just because I've been used to using that shitty little Chinese thing that there's no way I could ever use a center column on that. I could barely use the 3 legs. So without it being vibration. So I think that sort of trained me into just not needing a center column. So yeah, when Nicky came out, I sent him a message and said, look, I really would like to try something higher, something sturdier, something without a center column. And I love the leveling head because you can do panos so easy. You don't got to worry about leveling the legs.
Yeah.
You just dunk it down in a pinch if something's happening in the distance. It makes my job easier because I'm not thinking, you got to level. You know what I mean? You've got to level the legs, haven't you?
Yeah.
To get your horizon. Whereas with Nicky, you just chuck it down, level the handle in the middle. And I'm shooting. It is brilliant. It is a little bit heavier, but.
So it's basically for people that don't quite understand that the how these tripods are designed. When we're referring to a tripod that doesn't have a center column, they normally have a larger diameter. They call it a spider, which is the plate that actually joins the 3 legs basically together. It unifies the 3 legs together with some form of base, and that base they refer to as a spider, which can be a disc or a triangular form, which is generally made of aluminium, of high-grade aluminium, or of some type of steel, reinforced steel. So you're referring to this one, the actual spider itself. It actually has an internal disc, and that disc itself actually can level itself out. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yeah. So Nicky comes with 2 plates, 2 spiders then. One's flat, so you can just screw your bowl head in the middle.
Yeah.
And you just have a traditional tripod with no center column. Or it's got a 75mm diameter bowl.
Yeah.
Which obviously sits down inside the underside of the legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a hole in the middle. And then you buy a 75mm bowl adapter.
Yeah.
So there's a handle underneath, and I can loosen that, and then the whole ball head slides around in this.
Yeah, they're very handy, aren't they? You don't have to touch your legs then. You don't have to touch your legs. So.
No. So I got spikes. I invested in some spikes like 3-4 years ago, and they've never come off. So you just jab it down in, it ain't going nowhere. And then you can do your leveling from after there. So yeah, my tripod history has, I would say, it's evolved quite naturally from what any amateur or beginner would do, would be buy something like I did and end up where I am now.
Yeah.
And then to be honest with you, depending on whether I'm going on a hike or a long trip, I would either leave Nicky at home and just take Winston. Because Winston's more than capable. It's just Nicky's just was that extra bit. But if you were doing a long hike like you do, Matt, you probably wouldn't want to take Nicky. You'd probably want to take some food with you instead.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where I am now. Yeah.
What about yourself, Paul?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty much the same. I started off with a cheap Chinese tripod as well, and soon learned that was the biggest mistake I ever made.
What brand was that? You remember?
I think it was something like, it might have been something like K&F or something very similar to it.
K&F,
yeah, something very similar to
K&F concept. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, something similar to that at the time. But yeah, it was crap. It kept falling apart. Things kept going on it, and it had lever locks on it, and I hate lever locks. I absolutely detest lever locks. So then after that I got a Manfrotto, which was better, but it had, instead of a general ball head on it, it had one of those handle ones on. So it had
a
almost
three-way.
Three-way
had
head.
A
three-way head on it, and I didn't
which
get
are great.
on. Which they're great, but I just didn't get on with it.
Okay.
I preferred a ball head. So after that, because obviously I got in with breakthrough photography and Colorado tripods, that's what I moved on to, is a Colorado tripod company.
Which Colorado, where are they based? Are they US based?
Canadian based.
Canadian. Okay, because they haven't been around for that long, have they?
In fact, they're not Canadian, actually. They're American. They're American. What am I thinking about? They're an American company.
Yeah, I've heard of a few people using them.
Yeah, because they're basically the same company as Breakthrough, made by the same people.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that.
But yeah, I got a carbon fibre one, and I absolutely loved it. The only downside to it is, and I still use it, is it's got a centre column, which we all detest, and the tripod isn't quite high enough. So I'm kind of forced into using the centre column every now and then, which isn't the best.
So what height would your actual plate, your spider, actually go to?
Well, I'm close to 6 foot, so it'll go to kind of chest height, and that's about your lot.
Chest height, and then you got your tripod, and then you got your head on the top of it, so you're sitting at 165, 170 plus your camera, and you're finding you need more height.
Yeah, I'm always kind of bending down to it. I'd much prefer to be able to have it head height if I could. I mean, a lot of the time I don't shoot head height. I mean, a lot of the time I don't just kind of immediately set up head height. I'm always looking for lower angles if I can help it anyway. So it doesn't really bother me too much. But
the center column would, didn't it?
Yeah, that's then it gets in the way.
Yeah,
it gets in the way then. And it's not the easiest tripod to. I mean, a lot of tripods you would have your center column would be able to rotate and move. With this one, it's got a groove in it so that it actually doesn't twist. If you get what I mean. So the actual center column won't twist either way. It's kind of up and down, and that's it. I haven't tried it, but I believe you can kind of undersling your ball head underneath. But I've been waiting for a good while now to get the latest tripod from them. But it's just up to now never materialised, and that's been getting on for a year now.
Okay.
So I've been kind of stuck. I mean, I don't want to go out and buy one when I know I'm going to get one sent to me. So
because they're not cheap, are they?
Well, these ones aren't bad, I have to say. I mean, I think even the newer ones that are coming out are about 400 quid, which
that's not a bad price.
No, it's not a bad price at all. Not considering they're sturdy as hell. I mean, I really like them. This one's never let me down, but for a kind of mid-range tripod, I think they're pretty well priced.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty decent. Yeah, that's the same price as a Winston. They're about 350, 400 quid. Yeah.
So I'm happy enough with it. I just wish they'd get this new one out to me because it's a lot taller, so I wouldn't have the same issues then. I mean, as I say, I don't tend to shoot head height that often, but it would just be nice when I do not to have to kind of duck down to it all the time.
Like I find it's not so much the initially it was the higher shooting that enticed me, but because it's a taller tripod, I don't extend the lower legs as much.
No.
So
which is the weakest point, obviously. Yeah.
You're using the thicker part of the legs.
Yeah.
At the same height, so it just makes it so sturdy.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing more frustrating than shooting in wind, and you got a little bit of vibration. You can feel it, can't you? When you hold your camera, you feel it coming up through the legs.
Yeah,
and it used to wind me up. But yeah, I'm going to get you in touch with Megan if you want.
Well, mate, it might come to that. Might come to that if I can't get this bloody tripod sorted. Honest to God, waiting a year for them to get their act together to get it over here. Honestly.
So Colorado, do they actually have a retailer in Europe? I mean, I've only heard of probably 2 or 3 guys that actually use them. So
yeah, we've got a distributor in the UK which deals with Breakthrough, and that's who I'm obviously affiliated with Breakthrough Filters in the UK, and they supply with me with all the filters. But
Breakthrough actually have a distributor now, do they? Because
in the UK
back in the day when Breakthrough first came out, I was using their gear when they very first came out, and back then the only way to get their gear was to actually get it shipped directly from the US. Excellent service they had, but you had to get it directly sent over from the US.
Yeah.
So
good. We've got a UK distributor, and they're great. They're great. We're just lacking in supplies of tripods at the minute. A lot of it, they say, is down to COVID, but to be honest, I think it was started long before that, to be honest.
A lot of competition, guys. A lot of competition with tripods.
For sure.
A lot of brands out there. A lot of brands. Yeah.
So what are you using then, Matt?
Well, what did I start with and what am I using now?
Well,
I've had a sort of love-hate. I've had a love-hate relationship with tripods. I started out, considering, guys, don't take the piss out of me, but I started out in the film days, and
you had 3 bits of wood, didn't you? You had 3 bits of wood tied together at the top.
No, I had a gorilla. I had a gorilla pod. No, I'm joking. So what year are we talking now? 2001 or 2002 was it when I bought my first camera? And I had no knowledge about photography at all because there wasn't social media. There wasn't, I think YouTube just came out. There was nothing.
Yeah.
The only way you could know anything about photography was to go and buy the Landscape Photography magazine that come out once a month or whatever. There was nothing. So I had no idea what I was doing. And I went out, and when I got my first camera, I went and bought a Velbon tripod.
Oh, yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I don't even know if they exist anymore. And it had a diamond-shaped legs with quick release, but it stood at about 2.5 feet high, full extended.
Right.
So I got some wicked foreground shots, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I just got straight into foreground photography. So, learned really, really quick about foreground photography. And obviously I realised not that long into it that was like the worst investment I ever made. And back then there wasn't too many brands you could choose from. I was only a young kid, didn't have much money to spend, and I just went with the popular brand at the time, and the popular brand at the time was Manfrotto.
Yeah.
You had Manfrotto, then you had Jitsu. Jitsu is like still today is still the king of tripods. Yeah. And, I couldn't afford a Jitsu back then. So I got a beautiful, I think it was a 190C aluminium tripod, which I still have under my feet now. It's underneath my desk here where I've got all my photography gear stashed. And it's actually still a beautiful tripod. It's got the quick release legs on it, a 3-section, beautiful diameter on it, obviously aluminium, but it's still light enough. And I had a lovely magnesium 3-way head. So it was actually a beautiful system that I continued to use up until about 5 years ago. So I got more than 10 years use out of that tripod. And then when I just started getting more and more into, the digital just basically took over my whole entire world of photography, and I was just out more than I ever was before, and out hiking especially. I realised that I needed something lighter but still good quality, and I went out and bought a new Manfrotto tripod, and after about 2 months, I just thought, why did you do that? What was on special? I don't have anything wrong. I don't have anything against Manfrotto. There's people that love them. Like I said, I've got a beautiful Manfrotto tripod. I went and bought a newer version. Difference is back then, the Manfrotto I had back then was actually made in Italy.
Yeah.
And they're now made in China. I'm pretty sure they're made in China. And if they're not made in China, I'm in the shit. So I'm pretty sure they're made in China, but you can tell a big difference in quality. They don't have the same quality as what they used to, and I noticed a huge difference. And so I immediately sold that tripod and the three-way head, and I invested in a tripod system that looked like it was going really well at the time, which is called Suray.
Oh, yeah.
Which is it's a Chinese brand tripod, but what attracted me was they had a huge gamma. Tripods for beginners to advanced to everything. They had at the time they had about 50 tripods to offer, and they actually came forward to me and said, "Do you want to try some gear out?" So I used the tripods and used and abused the hell out of them. And I recently just got rid of all my gear, and I invested in their top of the range Suray tripod, which is an RX. It's 33 mil diameter carbon fiber tripod with the upper legs on it with a quick release. Very very solid, weather sealed. Obviously no center column, and it probably sits at about 165. Then you put my ball head on the top of it, so I'm getting well above eye height, and I actually love it. Yeah, just very, very solid. I had a lot of problems with these lighter tripods. I mean, we'll go into it when we talk about these other brands, but when you buy lighter tripods for hiking, there's something you end up losing. And unfortunately, I dropped quite a few lenses over recent years. I actually dropped a prototype lens for Pentax, face dive straight down, just because I didn't have the stability in the tripod that I was using when I was testing that lens. So there's a lot to consider, but stability is so important. The diameter of if you're going to go carbon fibre, your diameter of it needs to be, quite large. You need to make sure that your release system on your legs is very easy to open and close, and it stays closed really well. And having the spider, your centre plate on the top to be quite spread apart from your legs, just to give it that extra stability on the ground. I mean, those things are so important. Obviously, moving to heads and everything else. But anyway, sorry, I crapped on a bit, guys.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I think Nicky sounds like very similar to what you're using.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure them legs are 30, maybe 30, if not 33.
And you know what? A lot of people say, it's too big on some stuff. But, that tripod with the ball head on it, I've got a very, very, very sturdy ball head that can, carry 15 to 20 kilos. But who's going to test that unless you stick like, a toddler on top of it?
Yeah. Some of it's overkill, isn't it? Completely overkill.
Yeah, well, it is. But, they've got good stability. I'm about 1.8, 1.9 kilos, pushing 2 kilos. I mean, it's not that much.
No. I don't know what that Nicky weighs, but it's
a lot of these,
heavier. But.
Okay, well, you've got to consider a lot of these hiking tripods, which, they tend to weigh in, if it's carbon fibre, weigh in at around 1.2, 1.3 kilos, and you put your head on there. So you're hitting 1.5 kilos once you put your head on there.
Yeah.
What's 500 grams, really, for extra stability? I'd much prefer to carry the 500 grams.
Yeah.
And
some sore shoulders.
Well,
just stick some foam under there, mate. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather have shore salt? Well,
Sure.
Yeah. I can't say it now. You've got me.
No, I
can't say it.
Sore shoulders. Yes.
No. Sore shoulders. Rather than a mate of mine who was in, Norway and just saw his tripod just go straight into the ocean with his camera on it and everything.
Yeah.
Due to stability issues,
Yeah, that's not good at all.
No, it's not. It's not. So let's move into what people are using, guys. We crapped on about what we're using.
If you're watching this, then I assume you're someone who is passionate about both photography and the natural world. Over the last decade, I'm sure you've seen the incredible growth in photography. Everyone has a camera these days, and everyone wants a beautiful nature photo to share with the world. Unfortunately, the passion to capture that image often overrides thoughtfulness. Wildflower fields are being trampled and destroyed. Delicate, unknown locations are being widely advertised, bringing crowds of people, transforming wild places into urban spaces. Regulations, private property, and the well-being of wildlife are ignored in the pursuit of an image for Instagram. If such things weigh heavily on you, consider joining Nature First, the movement for responsible nature photography. This is a global initiative to help recover the role of nature photographers as caretakers and ambassadors of the natural world. There are no membership fees, no ads, no gimmicks, just an opportunity to be part of this global initiative of nature photographers dedicated to caring for the natural world. You can learn more at naturefirstphotography.org.
Basically, people that put up, their poll on, about these tripods, we had 35 people saying. So this is based on the 500 or so people that are that actually answered in this forum. 35 people are using Benro, so that was the number one within this group. So, do you guys know much about Benro? I mean, I know that Benro originally was a US. I know there was a company in the US that did use it under another name, which was called. Oh God, this is testing me now. Enduro.
I remember the name.
I know that, which actually don't think they exist anymore. And I think that maybe either Benro took them over or they were the same company. I'm not quite sure. They're good tripods, as far as I know. I mean, you said that you've got one.
Yeah, I've got one, yeah.
Tom?
I can't really fault the little travel tripod I got. It's brilliant. It does everything it needs to.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I've never cleaned it. I've literally hammered the shit out of it.
Okay.
Never cleaned it. Never took it apart. I just sling it out the back of the car, sling it back in, and it's never let me down. I can't. I would have bought a Benro. Was it to do a Mach 3, don't they? Which is their sort of
top of the line.
Equivalent to what I've got now. I think they do a big Mach 3 with no center column. But yeah, like I said, with the three-legged thing I got, I went down that way. But I would have no problem with buying a Benro.
Well, they must be good. I mean, judging from the amount of people that use them. Look, I know that there's a lot of these companies out there now. Benro, Suray. God, who else can I go through here? KNF Concept, Genesis, Relay. Basically, the majority of these companies that are Chinese-based, their beginner line tripods are all made in the one factory. So basically, everything's all made under the one roof. They then sell off the parts to the various companies that they put them together. They put their badge on them. They get sold. So you see a lot of these beginner intermediate tripods that are actually identical. I mean, there's no difference between them. And So, I mean, I've had experience with some of these tripods and I've seen other brands like Genesis out on field, and I actually looked and went, hang on a second, it's the same tripod as what I'm using. And they were actually identical. So it's one thing to be careful with these tripods when you're spending that money, that, you know, that £200 $200 line for a tripod, you're going to expect a certain quality, and that's the type of quality you're going to get. You're going to get a standard run-of-the-line tripod that's mass-produced. But with Benro, if you spend a lot more money, they do actually design and make their own tripods of a very much higher quality.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you have to consider. We've then got Manfrotto. So I talked about Manfrotto. What do you guys know about Manfrotto?
Not a huge amount.
No. I know a few people that I know a lot of people that have used them. For the same reason you did, you know, they were a huge brand, aren't they? But a lot of feedback I got when I was looking to spend decent money was they were heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of people said to me I can't remember the name. It's their sort of standard carbon fiber. They're about £400, £450. I can't remember the model name anyway. But they're heavy, yeah. And I don't know whether they use magnesium, don't they? You said
both magnesium and carbon fiber. Yeah, they've got both. Yeah,
but like all the twist locks and the Spider, I think they're all magnesium.
Right?
Which, are they not? Or
I'm not quite sure about that. No, I think they're pretty much standard with the majority of other ones out there now. Yeah,
but yeah, that's the thing that put me off. Was the weight.
Okay.
I think, do you know James Burns is a YouTube photographer?
Yeah, the name
in the UK. Yeah, he's from Yorkshireman. He's recently just bought his second Gitzo, and he's always saying about how he had to remortgage his house to get the first one. So, but he had a Manfrotto, the model I was just thinking of. And he said to me, and he does lots of hiking, and he said the reason he got rid of it was not the build quality, it was just the weight of it.
Right.
No, they are great tripods. They've been around forever. They are great tripods. They're just, I found a big difference, but I'm sure if I went and spent a bit of money or looked for another model, I probably could have found a good one at the time. I mean, Manfrotto and Jitsu are made under the same house. I mean, it's the same company, basically. Manfrotto's, you know, sort of like the let's say the intermediate level tripod, and then you have Jitsu, which are, you know, they're housed. They're basically made 100% in Italy, whereas Manfrotto isn't. But we'll get into Jitsu because they are. I think that's the next online. Yeah, next one. So it's 29 votes was Jitsu. Yeah, it's amazing considering. How expensive these tripods are, to actually see that many people actually using them. That's showing you that people are willing to spend the money. Yeah. And you know what? The majority of people I know who have that tripod have had it for a very long time and they're still using it now.
They didn't buy cheap Chinese shite the first time around, that's why.
if I could, yeah. I mean, if you consider that over the years, the amount of money you spend on a tripod, you spend 400, you spend 400 again, you spend 300, you spend another 400. Why not you just got a bloody Jitsu to begin with? I mean, because, look, I've had a lot of people, everyone I know that has a Jitsu tripod just says they're just perfect tripods. And you can see when you hold them in their hands, just the build quality, everything about it's engineered perfectly. Even the, the carbon fibre layers itself, I think it's called 10x carbon fibre. The way that that carbon fibre actually wraps amongst itself, it just has such a strong resistance compared to any other carbon fibre out there. From what I've heard, the way it's engineered. So I definitely spending that amount of money, I think, is if you've obviously got the money, because if you don't have $1,500 to pull out of your pocket to begin with, it makes it difficult, doesn't it? So, but yeah, beautiful tripod. Probably the only thing I could say that they lack in is variety. They have quite a few series they're tripods which are basically, I can't think of the name of them now, what they refer to them as, but it's basically the classic, tripod with, the large base, no center column, very, very sturdy legs, all carbon fiber. They don't seem to have, they've bought in the last few years like a travel version, which is quite small and compact with a center column. Then they've got the Mountaineer, which is slightly bigger again. And then all of a sudden they go from that to their huge systems, basically.
Right.
I think it would have been nice for them to be a bit more flexible, maybe bring out some more hiking style tripods that can maybe interact like a monopod. A lot of brands put out monopods that can come off, things that are a bit more interchangeable. But apart from that, they're just to die for a tripod. I'd kill to have one. Definitely. And then we've got RRS. So what do you guys know about them? We know they've gone mental in the US, haven't they? They're probably the biggest brand in the US as far as quality goes at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the look at it. I said earlier, like, they're shiny and they look nice. And, there's some big boys using them, aren't they? Like Nick Page has always advertised himself using
I think
really
he's
right stuff.
Yeah, he's marketed them quite well, isn't he?
He's definitely the person that I found really right stuff through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he likes his gear, and he's always talking about his tripods and things he uses. So, but that's as far as my knowledge goes. Really, really right stuff. Other than they're expensive, and to get him in the UK, you got to buy them direct from them.
Yeah, I actually think there is a European importer for them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are, because I was looking at getting an old bracket from them from a while ago. I remember that was. Could be, pretty sure there is now. But they're a great tripod, but it's just the thing is, it's always nice to see a tripod itself, isn't it, and play with it before you buy one, and it's hard to do that over here. So we can only rely on people we know that use them. Yeah, all I know is that all my friends and stuff that use them, they rave about them. So amazing. Obviously quite expensive. They're probably in the Jitsu range price, aren't they? Really, with their tripods.
Yeah,
you're going to be spending at least $1,000 on a tripod.
Well, it's looking like it from what I'm seeing on here. God.
Yeah.
1,800 quid here.
It's one of that. Yeah. It's one of them things, though, isn't it? Like when you start to spend like over £800, you think to yourself, that one's 1,200 quid. What's the difference? I know it is a lot of money. I know, but. Yeah, you're already in that expensive bracket, and
you got to think though. I mean, like Jitsu and RS, for example. I mean, RS is made in the US. Jitsu is made in Italy, 100% handmade in Italy. There's an expense you have to pay for that. I'm not taking any away from Chinese-made products at all, but we know that Chinese products a lot of the time work off mass production, and their prices are cheaper because of their mass production and their labour. And, having these products made in countries like the US or the UK or Italy, for example, in these small factories, and they're being handmade, there has to be an extra value to put onto those products, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And in the day, the decision that tipped it from the sort of thought process that tipped it for me was, I don't know, you, Paul, you got a Sony, and you, Matt, you got an expensive Pentax. I just make sure Kirsty's not looking. I've invested like £6,500 in camera kit.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to put it on a £150 Chinese tripod.
No, this is it. This is it.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's even more like that now for me, because I'm thinking to myself, well, I can't afford to break it because it's going to have to make me more money. So
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
So not only is it going on a tripod, but it's going on a harness around my neck as well, and it's I'm going to take a crash mat as well.
Well, obviously three-legged thing. Yeah, I can't really fault. I don't know. I know they market themselves as, I want to say, manufactured in the UK. I can't swear that they are the whole thing's manufactured. I can definitely say they are assembled in the UK, and the company's based in the UK. But I'm not entirely sure whether the parts are.
Okay.
But yeah, they do market themselves as a UK-based, UK manufactured company, and the quality is so much better than what I've previously. Even I would even say the quality is better than Benro for me.
Wow, that's
yeah. And whether that might just be down to the styling, maybe. They just look more unique, whereas I think the Benro, other than the blue they put on them, it still looks like a generic tripod. Whereas that the three-legged thing doesn't. I think it looks like a three-legged thing tripod. If you know what I mean.
So where would you be looking as far as the quality goes? You know, your leg locking.
Yeah, it's I've gone to a 3-section, so you literally it's like an eighth of a turn, quarter of a turn at the most, and all three legs will just fall out in one go.
Yeah.
And they feel nice when you tighten them. They're all aluminum. And the three legs all come off. So you can use just a spider as like a table. Like if you had a studio, you put just the spider on the ball head.
Yeah.
And just the way it feels. The carbon fiber hasn't got any pattern on it. It's which I think is quite unique. I don't know of another tripod that normally you can see the weave, can't you?
Yeah.
The carbon, whereas all the three-legged thing stuff is like a matte finish to it, which is quite nice. It's just good stuff. Never had any trouble with them. So Leo Photos next. Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well on the list, really, considering how long the list is. I done quite a lot of research about tripods, and Leo Photo was something the website was. I was on there quite a lot.
A big variety, don't they?
Yeah, they're a bit like he was talking about earlier. I can't remember who he was talking about earlier.
Saray.
Yeah, they got a very big selection.
Yeah.
Which can be a bit mind-boggling because they're all numbers, and they're the different. When you if you was thinking, I'll have a look at their website, and all the tripods are numbers. Different models are different numbers. So they're quite hard to sort of think that is the tripod for me, unless you can handle it. Then the numbers are relevant. Like just if whatever feels right. But that's what was quite good about the three-legged thing, is they're all different names. So I don't know much about Leofo really, other than I think obviously they're Chinese.
Yeah, it's about all I know of them as well.
Yeah, Chinese-based company, been out for a few years now. Probably, I don't know, could be wrong, 4 or 5 years maybe, not quite sure. You'd see quite a few people out there using them. But as I said, they're the type of typical company. They're very, their sort of beginning intermediate cameras are just basically the same as the other ones that are out there. They do have some interesting higher-end tripods. The only thing I found with a lot of their models is that the actual centre plate itself, they don't leave much room. It doesn't have quite a very large diameter. They're very, very narrow. Your legs are very, very narrow to each other. Yeah. And I think that doesn't help too well with stability. Good for compactness, obviously. But I've noticed that the they've upped their game a lot probably in the last 2 years. They look like they've got some really good stuff, and probably they're producing all of their own stuff now, more so than what they were before over the last couple of years. But yeah, something not too heads up on Leofo. It'd be good for people to jump back on the Facebook page to give us some more feedback about things that we might have said wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the next one coming in after that?
How do you pronounce that again? Surai?
Surai. Yeah, it's Surai. Yeah, it's Sirui, would most people call, but it's actually pronounced Surai.
Surai, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I talked about them. The tripod that I've got now of theirs, which is one of their higher end tripods for me, is probably one of the best tripods out there on the field, in my opinion. After that, I would probably either go an RS or a Jitsu, one of their high ends. But for me, the build quality, this is insane. The functionality, the way, the whole, opening your legs out, the angulations, everything, it's engineered very, very, very well. Very good tripod. They've got some good tripods out there. The good thing is with Surai that, if it's a company that, if you're a professional photographer, you want to get into it and you want to start collaborating with brands. Mm-hmm. The great thing is if you're taking these tripods out on field, you've got a very big variety selection of people to choose from. You don't have 4 or 5 models. You've actually got 40 or 50 different types of tripods for different users. So that was always the thing that attracted me about Surai. Yeah, good tripod. Yeah. Vanguard. Oh, sorry, mate. What was that?
No. I was just going to say Surai and Leofo. I would say they're more established, aren't they, than some of the other Chinese brands? Yeah,
they got better names, more established names for sure. Probably been around for a few years more. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, Vanguard. I know a bit about Vanguard because I'm pretty sure, I don't think they are now, but I'm Case ambassador, Filters ambassador, and a lot of the ambassadors have partnered with Vanguard. Yeah, because I don't think they're the same company, but they are in conjunction. They were in conjunction with each other.
They're working with each other because I was still am an ambassador for Vanguard's bags, but I haven't had much to do with the tripods, if I'm honest. No. I've seen them, and they seem pretty well made. And I know of a couple of people who use them, but I suppose they're quite different in the way they work. Some of them use the triangular shaped legs.
That was the original style tripod, wasn't it? Because they'd been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They were more of a sort of beginner, intermediate tripod, back in the day, weren't they? They'd been around for a while. So
every camera shop.
Yeah. It's a typical commercial. If you walk into a camera store and you had no idea about anything, you would just walk up and you go, "There's a tripod, that'll do me," and you probably walk out with a Vanguard.
Yeah, but they've changed it now somewhat. They've got the tubular legs and everything, and they also have the carbon fibre tripods as well. And on top of that, they seem to have this sort of weird system of folding centre columns down. Have you noticed? So that, like a centre column, some of them come with centre columns, but they'll fold down and underneath so that you can angle your camera underneath it. They've got quite unique systems, I think, the way in which they work.
I think it's tailored to a enthusiast that wants to try and do a bit of everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I know a couple of people that have had them and have had lots of problems with the legs, the twist locks.
Right.
Like getting stuck open.
Yeah.
And having to take them apart all the time. And But I think their bags are pretty good, but I'm not sure if I would really entertain a Vanguard tripod. FLM. Sorry,
the list is huge, isn't it, guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 hours later, we might get to the end of the podcast.
I think we're going to have to, probably won't go through every single one. I mean, we're starting to go down now into people, that have voted 4 or 5 times. We're probably jumping down into the last 5% margin of tripod users based on what we've got here. But still some good brands. Yeah. FLM. Yeah, FLM are
they're a pretty big brand, aren't they, FLM?
They are.
FLM are
American or Canadian?
I think they're
Canadian
based. I think they're
German.
Are you sure?
Are they?
Are they?
Yeah.
I think they're Canadian.
Are they?
So I'm actually cheating here, guys. This will save you Google time. They got some beautiful looking tripods. I remember looking at them a few years ago. They are, there is a European website. Anyway, guys, please tell us where they come from. I actually thought they were German based, but I could be wrong.
I see there's FLM Germany. Well, I don't know whether that's just an offshoot, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen Germany, yeah.
FLM USA. Well, okay. Yeah, if anyone knows about that, let us know. Because, I might be getting confused between FLM and Faisal, which is another brand. Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah.
I would say FLM and Faisal are very... They're again, when I was looking, there were 2 companies that I was looking at because they're not Chinese. And I just thought... and they do some pretty beastie tripods, don't they?
Yeah, very, very simple designs too. There's nothing that complex about them.
No.
Wide diameter legs, beautiful carbon fibre, very straightforward, simple designs, but heavy duty. Yeah.
When they do seem very German when you describe
this is
that.
interesting, though. This is interesting. I've just Googled it.
Okay.
FLM Germany has announced that beginning in fall 2019, production of tripods and tripod accessories will be done at its Asian branch, FLM China. So technically, they're Chinese by the look of it.
Okay.
So
not that we have anything. Sorry, guys, just for our listeners out, we don't actually have anything against Chinese-made products. We're just stating that on a large-scale production, sometimes products like this aren't as good as some of the local produce brands because of the reasons we talked about. We're not actually saying we don't like Chinese products. I mean, for example, Tom, we're talking about case filters. I think case filters are one of the best filter brands out there. I mean, I use them too, and they're Chinese. So, definitely not saying that Chinese products aren't good. There's some great Chinese stuff out there, but we're sort of generalising. The whole manufacturers. There's so many of them, and to try and break them down, this is what we're saying.
Oh yeah, I got nothing against. It's mainly because there's so many Chinese companies now. It's trying to find the ones that have that quality that you look for.
For sure,
because there's more that ain't than if you're not.
Yeah. There's more that aren't that well made.
Yeah. So that's all it is. That's what my approach is. I'm nothing against them. I'd buy a Chinese tripod, no trouble. If it was the same quality as what I've got or better.
Yeah. Which is what I was saying about the Saray one, the Saray model that I have. Yeah, for me, it's definitely. So then we've got Slick. Slick are actually a Japanese tripod.
Yeah, I've heard of the name.
Yeah, very well engineered tripod. They look a little bit fancy, a little bit sort of weird. They have like this. They're very shiny tripods. They don't have a rugged sort of look to them. They're very shiny and a bit sort of almost a little bit out there. But if you have a good look at them, they're actually a beautifully made tripod. They've been around forever. They've got a very, they're one of the first brand tripods that come out as far as I know. So they're the Japanese brand tripod. And, you'll see some of the older guys out there still using their Slick tripods, and they're not a bad tripod at all. I'd be interested to know a little bit more about them.
Yeah.
Then we could move on. There's so many brands out there.
I know. You've got K&F.
KFC, someone, right?
Yeah.
KFC.
Bag and bucket chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. KFC concept, the same as before. You know, a lot of these brands are getting very, very similar, aren't they? KFC concept, Genesis, a lot of these brands, even though they, like Genesis, for example, claim to be Polish made, but they're not. They're not actually. That's 100% made in the same factory as many of these brands, and that sort of falls into that category. Then you're saying
Faisal, sorry, yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Great tripod.
Yeah. Very interested in Faisal. Yeah, I'd love to have a go at one of them. Yeah, I've actually been in contact with KFC. KFC, recently, but I haven't really pursued it just because I just there's nothing wrong with my one.
Yeah.
And again, if it ain't better, then I don't really. I don't know, and they don't seem to KFC don't seem to make something on the same height, do they?
No. That's the sort of intermediate level, but they don't get.
Well, I meant like
high.
I meant like the actual camera height.
Oh, camera height.
Yeah,
okay.
they don't make something like big and sturdy with no center column. So I haven't really sort of pursued it, but.
Zomain, never heard of them.
Yeah, I have.
Two people out there. Okay.
Yeah, they're another Chinese company as well.
Do they make filters?
Yep, they do.
They do.
Really cheap ones. Really
cheap ones.
Yeah, really eBay cheap filters. Yeah.
Okay, so we can be expecting the same quality out of the tripod then, are we? Or?
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Okay. Genesis, I just talked about them before. Very, very similar to a lot of these other brands. Still a good system. Beginner photographer. They do make some carbon fibre versions out there. I know they got like a Series C, which is sort of let's say a semi-professional level tripod, but nothing in that high-end range. Actually, I never know if they've gone out of business now, Genesis, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, it's a Polish company, but you can tell by their tripods that they're actually Chinese-made, even though they don't claim that. Yeah. Then we've got Enduro. I think Enduro don't exist anymore. Enduro had that tripod that came out probably about 6 or 7 years ago. It was called the Stealth.
Right. Yeah.
That was a weapon when they came out. I remember saying that. I was like, I want to get that. And I tried to, and I couldn't because they're just US based. And so, Benro took over from Enduro, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they don't exist in the US anymore.
Right.
I remember seeing Simon Baxter had an Enduro Stealth.
Oh, okay.
And I remember watching one of his videos, thinking, I've got to get one of them. And then I said I could never get hold of one.
No. And he's using Jitsu now, I'm pretty sure, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a Benro for a while as well.
I think he's using Jitsu now.
He is using Jitsu now, yeah.
And then we sort of go into this other brand, Inorel. Peak Design came out with that tripod, that triangular sort of weird thing.
That was an odd looking thing, yeah.
They tried to flog that on, what's it called, where, you don't auction for stuff.
Kickstarter.
Yeah. I don't know if that, would you take that tripod?
But it was so bloody expensive for what it was.
Yeah. But it just looked awkward, this diamond-shaped thing. It just... A few people said it was amazing. I can't see anything amazing in that tripod, to be honest.
No. No, not for what we do.
Yeah, then we've got Colorado Company down here. 2 people voted for that.
One of them was me.
I was going to say there's this awkward-looking hobbit, and that's you. There you go. And Alex Noriega is using Colorado too.
Oh, well, there you go. Then I'm in with the good guys at least. Come on.
You're in with royalty there, boy.
All 2 of us.
Yeah. So then we've got Relay, Cameron, Novon, Oban, Buddysman. Buddysman are a relatively new brand now too, with some flashy tripods. Don't look bad, Buddysman actually. Yeah. A Chinese brand. Then the last one was Bogan by Kurt Keys. Bogan is actually Manfrotto, the same name. It's what they give Manfrotto. I think it's the US name.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. But anyway. Jesus, that took a long time to go through those, didn't you? I think we bored the hell out of everyone.
So if anybody's still awake, you can let us know.
If we said any mistakes, please tell us.
I tell you what I want to say as well, because there was one guy here that actually asked a question for the discussion, and he said to optimize stability, this is David Skinner. He said to optimize stability, what is the best terrain ground surface for the metal pointed tips as against the rubber pads on the ends of the legs?
Ice. Yeah, that's the only time you're going to use it. Ice picks, that's what they are for ice. Everything else is just rubber.
Yeah.
Would you agree on that, Tom?
He uses spikes. He uses spikes all the time.
Yeah.
I use them
all the time.
But then I'm in the woods most of the time.
Right.
And I just find when you dap it down, they ain't going nowhere. Like sometimes when you're in the woods and you put your, say you got your rubber foot and you put it down on the ground, it's a bit spongy. Maybe you're on some moss or I don't know, some bracken or bramble.
So your spike is acting as almost like a trocar that's actually giving you a cannel to force itself into the ground.
Yeah. So that's what I tend to do is find out the height I want, so extend my legs wherever I want them to be. Just sit on the ground, don't push them in, and I think, I'm here or I'm there or wherever. And then I dap it in, because once you dap it in with the spikes, it goes so rigid, you can't like tilt the legs afterwards because it puts a bend in the leg. So that once you tap the spikes in the mud, if you're in the woods, if you're a woodland photographer, I would. Spikes are for me. They never come off my tripod. I just leave them on all the time. But then I'm always in the woods, so
right. Okay.
There's no ice in Wiltshire.
Probably as well beaches. I would say they're probably good on beaches, because it would probably save your tripod. Losing stability if you jab them into the sand. They're probably going to get good stability. So
I just find with finding the sand, just dig your legs in, get it right in.
Yeah.
One thing I did find with spikes when I was living in the coast was they weren't very good on the rocks. I did used to put the feet on for that.
Yeah, they do scratch around.
The rubber gave you the extra. Yeah, the rubber gives you the extra traction, the extra grip, doesn't it?
Yeah, they weren't very good.
Like a rubber shoe.
Yeah, they weren't very good on the boulders and things like that. No.
So with any luck, David Skinner, that'll have helped you out a little bit.
Thanks, David.
You had to wait until the end.
We probably should bring up a podcast, the question and answer podcast, shouldn't we? People can ask us questions about stuff and we can answer.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think the fact we've got such good feedback on this list, I think that would be a no-brainer.
Yeah, for sure. Be good.
Yeah.
And the other thing to bring up, lastly, is that we were voted on this Landscape Podcast Awards thing, and we came number 3 in the list, which really amazed me. And that was with, what was it? Blog Feed Spot, which was basically a list of 15 different podcasts, and we made it to number 3. So it was awesome.
Yeah, really surprised. I mean, not surprised. I don't think we suck or anything, but I was quite surprised that there is an audience out there, and it's nice, isn't it? It's good to know that that doing this is it's making a difference for people, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I like to think people just are happy and just to listen to 3 blokes that ain't 85 talk about photography. The majority of people can relate to us, because we bounce off each other. We're not old men, so we're a bit more current, and not many.
I think it's not just been about old men. I think I don't know anyone. Is there an old men for podcasters? I don't know it, but if there is, tell me. I'll listen to it. It's just about us. It's just us being just honest about photography too. We're not trying to sell ourselves off or anything. We're learning every day too, and I think it's good just to share with everyone everything. Even if we've been photographing for a long time, we always learn, and it's great to share that experience of learning with everyone, whether it's talking about gear or having a chat with someone else.
And I think just the honest conversation as well, not being overly technical, just kind of telling it how it is rather than, facts and figures. You know what I mean? It makes a difference, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the older sort of comment was just that we're bringing it more current. It's fresher, and we're getting rid of that stigma of retired people with cameras. This is a thing, and
and we can all relate to each other too.
Yeah.
We're three guys. We have children. We don't have family paying us for airfares to go around the world and go shooting in Iceland one day and Greenland the next and Colorado the day after. We've got an average life,
this is real life.
And our listeners are average people, and they should be able to relate to what we discuss.
100%. If our listeners could see me huddled in the corner of my bedroom and my little one's sleeping next door, then that's the same as what most people go through. And
it is.
It's all good fun.
It's good. It certainly is.
Well, guys, I think we should wrap it, don't you?
Yeah,
definitely. It was great to chat with you guys again. It's been too long between podcasts, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to get back into some sort of regular.
We will.
Regular thing.
Like I said, I apologise to the 17 people that listen to us.
18, mate. I've told you I've got OCD. 18. I can't cope with 17.
Sorry. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for coming on, and thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks everybody. Thanks Tom. Thanks Paul.
Cheers, buddy. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Ciao.
Which hopefully won't be too far away.
No, not 3 months ago, eh?
2 weeks' time at the most.
Cool. See you again soon. Ta-da.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.